Yo, what's good, man? This is your boy at DFSMasterMind_ over on Twitter. Thank you for clicking on today's video. Today's date is May the 1st, man. The first month of baseball is officially over. Hopefully y'all had a wonderful first month. I did pretty good, man. I did okay. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season continuing. We're going to continue to learn from our mistakes, learn from the losses. We're going to continue to upgrade and update our process. We're going to continue to look for new trends, and we're going to continue to get to the green line, man. That's what it's all about. Hopefully y'all still rocking with me. Today, I'm going to give you my top stacks. I'm going to give you a few hitters that I like, and I'm going to give you my top pitching. So let's hop into it, man. Starting off with pitching, we got a classic pitchers duel with the Giants versus the LA Dodgers. Team implied run total is 2.4 for the Giants and 3.7 for the Dodgers. Both of these pitchers, man, they're in play, dude. Johnny Cueto, he's getting back. He's getting better. A lot of people are not going to be looking at him. His last game, man, if you watch his last game, he was rolling. He was wheeling and dealing until the 6th inning. He ran into a little trouble. He got pulled from the game. He gave up 3 runs. But before that, man, it was almost flawless baseball. He was playing really good. I don't have to talk too much about Clayton Kershaw. Y'all know who he is. If you don't, I don't even know why you're watching this video, because you don't care about MLB DFS. So yeah, there's that. If you want to pay up for him, go for it. I will probably have him in a few lineups. Moving on, but both of those pitchers are in play. Moving on, I wanted to talk about Lance McCullers. I don't really, I'm not as excited about him as I am Cueto and Kershaw. But Lance McCullers, man, he's there, dude. The K stuff is going to be there. He got really nice swing and miss stuff. He's going up against the Rangers, and this is why I get a little shaky. The Rangers are pretty decent, man. I think they have a solid lineup, almost 1 through 9, man. They have decent hitters everywhere, and they can get you in a bunch of different ways. They can single you to death, or they can hit the long ball, man. So I know Lance McCullers is gonna have to be on his grind the whole game, man, the whole game. Excuse me. And he's playing in Houston, which is a good hitter's ballpark, and it's 80 degrees out there. So with that information, man, you got to decide if you want to mess with him, man. But I do know he's capable of striking out at least 9 people tonight. He's capable of doing it, but he's also capable of getting shelled in the 3rd inning because the ball is flying out. It's just whatever you want, man. I wanted to mention him though because I think he's an elite arm, and he's on the board. He's worth talking about. The last guy I wanted to talk about and who's gonna be my favorite pitcher tonight is Julio Teheran. He's going up against the New York Mets. Implied run total for the Mets is 4.2. I think that's bogus. I've been watching a lot of Mets games, and they're not that good, man. They don't score in bunches. They score off solo home runs for the most part. They're not really good at having people on base. I think Julio Teheran is really good at limiting the long ball, and the K upside is going to be there. Like yesterday, Joe Ross, even though he gave up 5 runs, the Mets, they didn't do too much to him. It was a lot of just solo home runs, man. He would let one go. But I think Julio, he's in a lot better shape than Joe Ross at this point in the season. And Julio's an ace, man. We looking at Cueto and Lance McCullers. He's in that same ballpark, but he's a lot cheaper, man. That's why I'm all up on some Julio Teheran today. I think he's in an excellent spot. Yeah, that's gonna do it for my pitching. My pitchers will definitely come out of these 4 guys. Other guys worth mentioning really quick. Garrett Cole, I think he's in a decent spot. Luis Severino's in a decent spot. If the game plays, you got to stay up on the weather. I don't want any chin. I don't want any Odorizzi. I said Odorizzi. Thinking about some eggs. I don't want any Trevor Bauer. Think it's a bad matchup. Dylan Bundy's been hot. He's been running hot, but he's going up against the Red Sox. I don't want to have to deal with that. Rick Porcello, I'm okay. I think that's going to... Vincent Velasquez, man, the K upside is there. And I was really thinking about this because the K upside is there. He's going up against the Cubs. You know he's going to be super low on. Last night, if you watched the ESPN game, Rodriguez struck out 8 of these Chicago Cubs. And I think Vincent Velasquez has more K stuff than Rodriguez. But with that being said, I'm not betting against the Cubs either, man. They're nasty. Their implied run total for some reason is 6.1. I'm still trying to dig into that and understand why that is. I don't think it should be that high, man. I think Vegas thinks they're playing in Coors Field. I don't understand that one. Justin Vargas is worth mentioning. He's been playing really, really hot. I think he'll definitely get the win in this situation because he's going up against Covey, he's butt cheeks, man. I think that's going to do it. I don't want any Walker. I don't want any Davies. So that's going to do it, man. So top pitching for me, Cueto, Kershaw, Lance McCullers, Julio Teheran will be in the majority of my lineups. He's going to be in the most. If I had to recommend any one person, it's going to be Julio. But the other people I mentioned are definitely worth spending a pretty penny on. Moving on to stacks. I'm going to give you my top stacks, starting off with Houston. All the reasons I was saying why I'm worried about Lance McCullers is all the reason that I'm in love with a Houston stack today. They're playing in Houston Ballpark, which is a very friendly hitter's ballpark. It's 82 degrees out there today. And Houston is going up against Andrew Cashner, who's trash. He's not good, man. He's not a good pitcher. And their implied run total is 5.4, man. That's pretty high. Second highest on the slate behind the Cubs. I think we can definitely look to Houston, man, for some bats. Now, that's my top stack. If it turns out that's a little chalky, if I hear like later on in the day that everybody's on these Houston bats, I'm going to make a quick pivot to my Atlanta Braves, man. I love a Braves stack tonight. I'm starting to form a new rule, which is don't fade Freddie Freeman. The man has just been balling. He's been hitting everything in sight, man. A big guy like him, dude, he hits for homers like it ain't nothing. He hits for doubles, and he'll even get you a couple stolen bags, man. I love Freddie Freeman tonight. He's definitely going yard. They're going back to Atlanta. They've been on a very long road trip, and they get the Mets, who are I think they're in the middle of a pretty long road trip themselves. So, yeah, man, I'm in love with a Brave stack. Inciarte's in play. Stolen bag upside is everywhere with him. Nick Markakis, Matt Kemp is in a decent spot. And a punt play, you can look at some Dansby Swanson, man. I think he's starting to get it rolling. So, yeah, I'm in love with the Brave stack. The last stack I got 2 more stacks. Last two. First, I want to talk about the Phillies. I think... I think with the Cubs run total being this high, the Phillies will get a boost too, man. They're playing in the same ballpark. So whatever they're seeing for the Cubs to get all these runs, the same situation has to be there for the Phillies. And I think Vincent Velasquez is actually a better pitcher than Brett Anderson. I'm not a fan of Brett Anderson. I think his numbers look too good right now just because, his numbers are inflated. It's early in the season. But, yeah, I love me a sneaky Philly stack, man. I think they're going to be super under the radar. And their implied run total is 4.6. We all seen these times where the Phillies get it rolling. Earlier in the season, they scored I want to say 17. I don't want to say 17 in an inning. But it was something ridiculous, man. I don't want to say it was that much. I feel like that's too much. But I know they definitely scored 17 plus points or plus runs in a game this year. Yeah, man. So I'm going to be taking a long look at these Philly bats. And the last stack I wanted to talk about is the Kansas City Royals. And the reason I like these guys is because they're cheap. They're cheap, and they're going up against Dylan Covey, who's trash. He's not a really good pitcher. And you can get the most expensive bat on the Royals side is going to be Lorenzo Cain. And he's 4.1, man. That's very cheap, man. Very, very cheap. And the Royals implied run total is 4.8. If you're in doubt, man, and you need to fill a spot, do a one-off with these Royals. I'm telling you, it'll work out just fine. So that's going to do it for my stacks. So top stacks, I got Houston, Atlanta, Philly, and Kansas City. Those are going to be where the majority of my bets are coming off. Now, of course, I may do a one-off with like a Mookie Betts or a Rizzo or... Dang, man, my throat. I can't clear my throat. Mookie Betts, Hanley Ramirez, man, he's starting to get hot. He's starting to get hot, man. I might use him on on DraftKings because my first base it's gonna be Freeman. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Oh man, I like a couple of these Cleveland bats too, man. Just throwing that out there. I think they're starting to get it. They starting to get it rolling. But anyways, now I'm gonna give you my top 3 bats for tonight, man. Number 1, I'm starting off with, if you can guess, is gonna be Freddie Freeman. I think he's in a really, really decent spot. No need to go back into that. But he's going to be my number 1 bat. Number 2 bat is going to be Carlos Correa. I think he's starting to get it rolling. He's seeing the ball very well. And one thing I've been noticing with him, if a pitcher throws him first pitch strike, he's looking to crush it, dude, every time. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him take a pitch on the first one if it's a strike. He's not doing it. He looks to go ahead and get his bat out the way, man. That's what he looks to do. Really big bat. I think he should have a really solid night tonight. And I like him batting cleanup, man, because he has Altuve, Reddick, and Springer in front of him, which are all solid bats. And he's gonna be looking to get some RBs, some ribbies, man. He's gonna be bringing in the RBIs. Man, I'm messing up my speech. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, dude, my last bet is going to be Aaron Altair. I think he's in a really solid spot. Cheap guy, man. If he stays batting second against Brett Anderson, I'm locking him in, man, everywhere. That'll be my top value play. I think he's in a decent spot. Yeah, so I think that's going to do it, man, for my baseball, man. Top pitching, like I said, we got Cueto, Kershaw, we got Julio Teheran, and we got Lance McCullers. Top stacks for today: Houston, Atlanta, Philly, Kansas City. I think Atlanta and Philly are going to be super under the radar. Top bats: Aaron Altair, Freddie Freeman, Carlos Correa. And before I get out of here, man, y'all know what we got going on a little later in the NBA. It's NBA playoffs, man. I'm going to give you my top 3 NBA plays for the day. We got Toronto versus Cleveland and Houston versus San Antonio. It may sound crazy, but I think I'm going to fade LeBron and James Harden. But I'm going to have a solid lineup, man. My top 3 plays tonight are going to be Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, and Kevin Love. And with those people in, you'll have about 5 racks left for each player. A little more closer to 6. When you put those players in, dude, you got plenty of options to go. I was sitting here building my lineup earlier, and it was coming together really well. I love me some Lou Will, Eric Gordon in the same lineup. And, you know, with this playoffs, man, don't try to get too cute, man. Just stick with who you know is going to get minutes. Please, man, that's all it is. That's all you have to do. Don't try to get too fancy and throw in DeHonte Jones or James Johnson, or not James Johnson, James Jones. Just stay with who you know are, like the players you know are going to get secure minutes. Those are the people you have to have in your lineup. Hopefully this video helped. Y'all hit me up on Twitter at DFSMasterMind_ if y'all have anything to say to me, any questions. Let me know, man. Y'all bless up. Let's get to the green line. Cash out.